Please listen closely, because what I'm about to say might change how you think about your challenges, your failures, and your mindset. There are two kinds of people: those who live life feeling beaten down, tired, complaining, and just barely getting by. And then there are those who stand strong when things get tough, smile when others break down, get back up when others quit, and ultimately win. What's the difference between these two groups? It's not about being super smart or lucky or having a fancy education. It's what I call a positive mental attitude, PMA. Let me be clear. PMA isn't just about thinking happy thoughts. It's not about pretending everything's fine when you're hurting inside. No, PMA is a powerful force of your spirit. It's the ability to see clearly through difficult times and still act with faith, precision, and purpose. It's the only known cure for failure, and it's the bedrock of all lasting success. I've spent over 25 years talking to some of the most powerful people of their time, like Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller. These men built huge businesses, not because life was easy for them, but because they developed this incredibly strong mindset. They didn't fear failure. They actually learned from it. They didn't give up when things went wrong. They studied what happened. They didn't fall apart under pressure. They learned to turn defeat into success. And you can do this too. What's controlling your mind? First, let me ask you, what's in control of your mind today? Is it fear, doubt, self-pity, or anger? Or is it faith, purpose, gratitude, or desire? Your mind doesn't just stay neutral. It's always being influenced by something. If you don't take charge of it, the world will. If you don't control it, negative influences will. That's a truth I learned when I finally faced my biggest enemy, myself. Listen to me. Your mental attitude is the only thing you have complete and total control over. You can control it if you choose to. This truth will either set you free or make you uncomfortable because it challenges your excuses. What you believe, you become. What you think about, you attract. What you focus on, you eventually live out. You might say, but I've tried to stay positive and life keeps hitting me hard. Then I'll ask you, what is your clear purpose? No one can build a strong mental attitude without a goal so strong, so captivating, so amazing that even failure backs down in its presence. Show me someone without a purpose, and I'll show you someone who just drifts through life. And someone who drifts is always at the mercy of negativity. But show me someone who knows what they want, who wakes up with passion and clear vision, and I'll show you someone who cannot be broken. To build an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you must first decide exactly what you want. Believe without a doubt that you will achieve it. Act every day in line with that belief. No excuses, no waiting for motivation, no relying on outside circumstances. Let me tell you something most people won't. The world doesn't owe you encouragement. Life doesn't stop to comfort you when you're weak, but it will always reward a clear purpose backed by faith. When someone decides they won't quit, won't give in to negative thinking, and that their mind belongs to them, not to their enemies, then something amazing happens. They start attracting what they need. People show up, opportunities appear, strength they never knew they had floods them, and failure starts to fear them, clearing out negative thoughts. But this change only begins when you understand this next secret. Negative thoughts aren't just visitors, they're invaders. If you allow them, they'll take over your mind. If you give them attention, they'll eat away at your purpose from the inside. And if you let them stay, they'll convince you to give up on the very thing you were meant to achieve. So you must do what I call cosmic housekeeping. Look closely at what you're thinking. Pay attention to your inner voice. And when you catch your mind drifting towards fear, doubt, worry, or resentment, stop it, like you'd stop a criminal at your door. Replace those thoughts with gratitude, with faith, with a powerful voice that says, I wasn't born to be broken. I wasn't made to be weak. I am made of the same stuff that built mountains, formed galaxies, and breathes through champions' lungs. Now, let me address the biggest lie that keeps people weak. I'm just not a positive person. This is nonsense. You weren't born positive or negative. You were trained that way. Your environment taught you, and your experiences shaped you. But nothing is permanent unless you let it be. What you've learned can be unlearned. What's been programmed can be rewritten. The key is repetition. You become what you repeatedly do. You believe what you repeatedly say. And your attitude will eventually show the main thoughts you keep in your mind. So, if you want to build an unbreakable mental attitude, you must start by controlling what you allow into your mind. Feed your mind daily with faith, courage, and truth. Speak words of power even when you feel pain. Read about great people until their words inspire you deeply. There's no shortcut, no magic trick, but there is a path, and it starts with one decision. That no matter what life throws at you, your attitude is yours, not your enemies, not your critics, not your pasts. It's yours. And my friend, that's where true power begins. The power of self-talk. If you want an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you must understand the power of autosuggestion. What is autosuggestion? It's how your subconscious mind becomes fertile ground for either weeds or fruit. Whatever you repeatedly tell yourself, whether it's true or a lie, your mind accepts, takes in, and eventually believes. Your success is always preceded by a conversation, not with someone else, but with yourself. Your inner dialogue is either building greatness or silently killing your dreams. The person who wakes up every day and says, I will win, I will keep going, I will not be denied, starts to shape their reality through the sheer force of mental faith. The person who wakes up and says, nothing ever works for me, I'm tired, I can't do this, that person dies before they even leave their bed. Whatever the mind can imagine and believe, it can achieve. But belief must be built daily through repetition. It's not enough to hope once. You must train your mind like a muscle, daily, intentionally, without mercy. Take 5 minutes each morning to speak life into your purpose. Don't do it passively or softly. Do it with fire, with strength, with clarity. Say, I am powerful beyond measure. My purpose burns stronger than my fear. I attract exactly what I need because I expect nothing less. You might not feel it first. That's normal. The subconscious isn't changed by feelings. It's changed by repetition with emotion. Say it again and again until the voice of victory becomes louder than the voice of doubt. The role of discipline. Now let's go deeper. An unbreakable attitude is also impossible without self-discipline. You can't control your emotions if you can't control your habits. You can't maintain a positive feeling if you're stuck in negative routines. Discipline is the bridge between thought and reality. Without it, your good intentions are just dreams, and your destiny is delayed. The men I studied, Carnegie, Hill, Edison, Schwab, didn't rise just because of talent. They rose because they controlled themselves. They understood that someone who can't control their thinking, their time, or their desires is a slave in a world designed for kings. So I ask you, what do you allow in your life that weakens your spirit? What distractions do you invite that slow your progress? What comforts do you cling to that steal from your future? An unbreakable mental attitude isn't born in comfort. It's born in discipline under pressure. It's forged when you say, I will read instead of scroll. I will get up instead of sleep. I will speak words of power instead of complaining. Because every time you choose discipline over impulse, your inner strength grows. And every time you give in to ease, your potential dies a little more. The test before elevation. Now let's talk about perhaps the most important truth I discovered after years of studying success and failure. Every difficulty carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. If you truly believe that, you can never truly lose. You might bleed, you might fall, you might suffer, but you will never be broken. Because you'll know, this isn't the end, it's the test before you rise higher. Look back at your own life. The greatest lessons didn't come when things were easy. They came when you collapsed. The clearest understanding didn't come when things were smooth. It came when the storm hit and you had to decide whether to drown or rise. So I tell you, develop the habit of expecting both the good and the challenging. Train your mind to say, this pain is preparing me. This failure is redirecting me. This delay is protecting me. And what happens? You become unshakable. You become dangerous to defeat because life can't truly hurt someone who grows stronger every time they get hit. Control your response. Now let me share another core teaching from my life's work. You are never a victim of circumstances. You are only ever a victim of your response. Two people can face the same setback. One becomes bitter, the other becomes better. The difference? Their mental attitude. When life slaps you across the face, you get to decide, will I curse it or will I see it as a teacher? When someone betrays you, you get to decide, will I become resentful or will I become wiser and stronger in setting boundaries? You cannot control what happens, but you always control what it becomes. This is the great secret of a positive mental attitude. It doesn't remove difficulty, it redefines it. It doesn't stop the storm. It teaches you how to walk through it with purpose. Now, a warning. There will be people who hate your mindset. They will mock your optimism. They'll call you crazy, unrealistic, or naive. Ignore them. Most people are stuck in being average. They've made a habit of hopelessness. They feel threatened by anyone who dares to rise while they're comfortable just crawling. You must cut off negative mental influences at their source. Surround yourself only with those who speak life and avoid those who feed your fear. Tell me who your enemies are, and I will tell you who you are becoming. But also tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you the limits of your future. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. If you spend your time in darkness, don't expect your mind to shine. You must choose carefully what you allow to influence your attitude, because what enters your ears enters your spirit. You don't need permission. Finally, let me leave you with this truth. You don't need permission to develop this power. You don't need a degree, a title, or approval. You need only one thing, a decision. A decision to own your thoughts. A decision to lead your mind instead of being led. A decision to become the kind of person that nothing can break because your attitude refuses to give up. If you make that decision today, if you say, from this moment forward, I no longer let circumstances control my attitude. I own it. I lead it. I protect it. Then you are already halfway to greatness. Because the world bows to the will of those who stand tall in spirit, even when their body is tired. Stand tall, my friend. Your chief aim. You've made it this far, and that tells me something about you. It tells me you're no longer content to just get by. You want to master life, and mastery begins in the mind. The final step in building an unbreakable positive mental attitude is this. You must have a main, clear goal. Without a purpose, your mind drifts. Without a burning goal, your mind wanders like a leaf in the wind, pushed and pulled by fear, doubt, distraction, and weakness. You must anchor your mind to something greater than just comfort. You must wake up every day with a reason so powerful, so vivid, so personal that nothing can shake it out of you. Not fear, not failure, not exhaustion. Your definite chief aim isn't just a goal. It's your identity in action. It's who you are becoming, guided by your vision and driven by an intense desire. Every great person I studied had this. They didn't just kind of want it, they lived it. Their purpose wasn't something they did. It was something they became. Ask yourself, what do I want so badly that I am willing to suffer for it? What do I desire so deeply that I am willing to be misunderstood, laughed at, doubted, and even alone to achieve it? What kind of life would make me feel that every breath I take is worth the pain it causes? Once you have that strong desire, burn it into your subconscious mind. Read it aloud morning and night. Feel it as if it's already done. Speak it with emotion. Write it in stone, because vague desires produce vague results. But clarity commands the universe. And once you are clear, once your purpose is fixed in your mind like the North Star, your positive mental attitude will become not just your shield, but your sword. Protect your attitude. Now listen to me carefully. The person who has a clear purpose and protects their mental attitude becomes unstoppable. They may be delayed, but never denied. They may fall, but always rise. They may struggle, but never retreat. Why? Because they understand that attitude is the hinge upon which the doors of destiny swing. Your attitude determines whether a failure becomes fuel or your finish line, whether a loss becomes a lesson or a lifelong excuse, whether a hardship becomes your downfall or your rise. But you must protect that attitude like a warrior guards his sword. You must defend it from negative influences. This includes toxic people, harmful media, and your own inner critic. Avoid mental laziness, gossip, self-pity, and any thought that lowers your energy. No matter what life throws at you, take responsibility. Own it. Shape it. Rise from it. Never let another person or situation decide the meaning of your life. That power is yours alone. Feed your mind. Now, allow me to speak directly to your heart. As someone who spent his life studying the greats and helping the forgotten, I tell you, you are not here by accident. You are created with a purpose. You have something the world needs. Your very existence is proof that your destiny is real. But it will not come true if your mind is filled with fear, self-doubt, and excuses. Your job is to cleanse your inner world. Feed your mind with words of greatness. Read biographies of giants. Speak positive affirmations. Take bold action. And above all, think thoughts that lift you up, expand you, empower you, and direct you forward. Every time you do, you grow. Every time you allow fear to control your mind, you shrink. That is the choice every single day. Act as if failure is impossible. Now let me give you a rule. What happens if you remove the possibility of failure? As if it were impossible to fail. I cannot fail. I don't say this. I can only learn. I say I cannot lose because fear has stolen more dreams. I cannot failure ever could. I can only bend and bounce back stronger. Keeps people small. My friend, the anticipation of defeat, that is the seed, is often more powerful than defeat. Because you no longer hesitate. You move. You speak. You create. You command. And in that commanding, fear runs, doubt flees, and the world responds. Why? Because confidence is magnetic. Certainty is rare. And those who possess both become leaders by their spirit, not just by their title. Now hear me well. No one ever succeeded alone, but no one succeeded who waited for others to believe in them first. You must believe when others laugh. You must stand when others sit. You must speak when others mock. You must lead even if you are still becoming what you speak of, because the world will follow those who dare to be mentally invincible. Summary. So, let me summarize what you now possess if you dare to live it. A mind that sees opportunity in every obstacle. A voice that speaks power into your soul daily. A purpose so clear, so consuming, that fear has no room to breathe. A discipline so consistent that weakness becomes irrelevant. And a mindset so positive, so unshakable, that the gates of hell cannot stop your progress. This is not fantasy. This is the law. These principles are eternal. They worked for Carnegie. They worked for Edison. They worked for Ford. And they will work for you if you work them. So the question isn't, will they work? The question is, will you? Will you rise and claim your attitude daily? Will you speak with strength even when your circumstances are weak? Will you persist when everything in you wants to quit? Because if you do, then not only will you build success, you will build a life worth living. A life of depth, a life of greatness, a life that impacts generations long after your name is spoken. That is the power of an unbreakable positive mental attitude. And it is yours now if you decide. So I ask you, as your guide, as your mentor, and as a man who gave his life to the study of success, will you decide? Because in that moment of decision, your destiny begins. And from this day forward, let your every thought, every word, every action declare to the world, I am unshakable. I am unstoppable. I am unbreakable. And so it is.